Welcome back. It's been a while. It's been like a week or 2 weeks since I last did Kerbal Space Program. We've just been doing all Minecraft videos. Don't mind this. This is just my test world. Uh, so this episode, I think we're going to the moon, right? Exciting. Uh, so this is episode 7, right? Yep. I think it's my 28th episode, or 20. So maybe my 28th episode, I believe, and probably in the 30th or somewhere around 30, maybe like 31, 32, maybe even 29. My 29th episode or whatever. I'll be putting in the new series. All the ones until that series will probably be Kerbal Space Program, because I've just done like quite a few Minecraft ones and no Kerbal Space Program ones. So head to the moon. Let's go back to our VAB. That's the acronym for Vehicle Assembly Building, or I guess you could say VAB, but I just usually say VAB. Which one was ours? K orbital 1. Yeah. Okay. So we're not going to always keep continuing on from our current rocket. We're gonna eventually, once this rocket isn't very good anymore, then we'll make a whole new a new rocket and then improve upon that. So once this is like completely improved, or I just have a complete new redesign idea or whatever. So let's take apart these. I like how the SRBs are. Although, okay. So I need to get rid of those. And these are gonna be. This is gonna be a 4 times. Yep. Okay. Do you guys want it to be like out to the side or like straight? Well, probably to the side. Yeah. Um, and then this would be here. Well, it kind of looks a little precarious, or maybe not precarious, but more so dangerous, I guess. So I know I said I would probably cut until we're done, rocket, but I'm probably not going to begin doing those cuts until after we've covered like basic, like we're still in the basics of learning how to fly a rocket. Like, I want to show you the steps in building a rocket to go to another planet, so another moon, another planet, whatever. So I think instead of using just these SRBs, I think we use full-fledged giant SRBs. Although then we'd have to probably increase this height a little bit. Let's bring that up to about there. And then put these on. Nose cones. Okay, so right here is where I'll show you what the separatrons do. So these separatrons, you can see they're very, very tiny, and they're solid rocket boosters. So what you do with them is you basically just point them in the direction that you. So if you are if you're what's the word? if you just ditch out these stages and you want these to not have a potential of hitting your rocket, then you just make these SRBs or these separatrons, push them away. Now, sure, this whole thing would flip down and the back would flip up, but it's going to go away and down faster than it will spin and hit back up, or at least hopefully it will. If it doesn't, then we'll just have to fix it by adding separatrons down here. So I want to add one more here of those just to be safe. Now oftentimes you can even just use one SRB, which I think maybe I will try doing. If you hold down Shift, so you can change orientation with the Q, W, E, A, S, D keys, of course. If you hold down Shift, you can change the orientation just slightly. So right now I'm holding on Shift and S. I believe it's a 5-degree change. I'm not 100% sure though. It appears to be 5-degree. It might be 10-degree. I could probably figure it out pretty easily. So let's see. It's straight up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Yeah, so it's 5 degrees, like I expected. We're gonna add our struts, of course. Always want to add struts, no matter the size of the rocket. If it's not a one thick thing, you need to add struts, no matter what you say. Even if it flies perfectly fine, you always should add the struts, no matter what. That's like a rule when it comes to this game. Because another kind of rule when it comes to this game is you will never have a single flight without an explosion. Whether the explosion is intended or not, you're still never going to have a single flight without an explosion. Is it just me, or does that not seem like a square? It's probably just, I think it's just me because the orientation is a bit different. I don't know. No, doesn't that look off? It does look off. Let me check. Just to make sure. Let's see, does that look aligned? No, it still doesn't look aligned. Okay. Oh, is it the separatrons? Yeah, I think it's the separatrons. Never mind. Oh. No, it can't be the separatrons because they're connected. Ooh. So let's do what we thought was that. And try one over. Ooh. One over isn't right. So let's let's try a shift. You're using Shift E, and now I think it's straight. Is it? No, it looks still off. Oh, I know what the issue is. Okay. I got it. So that was off. Now, I probably wouldn't have done anything with the flight because it was still an even proportion. But you can never know, really. Never. What is up with that? It's never too difficult to know. Okay, alright, so let's get these again. Not really talking very well. I'm just saying uh, uh, whatever. Let's get let's get these up. My gosh, it's so difficult to work with. No. Okay, I think that should be good, right? Let's hope it is. Yes, it actually looks good. Right? Yeah, there you go. Let's bring this down. I hate how you can't see, like, anything. Okay. Now we've got this. Got our nose cone. Into R8s. If you're using a Mac, then if you hover over an item or a part and you hold down Option, when you click it, Alter Option, whatever. It might be Alt on Windows too, but I know it's Option on Mac because I use a Mac, which I guess some Mac users also call the Option key. I mean the Alt key. So if you hold that and click, it'll copy the exact item with the same orientation and the same everything. Same symmetry, same orientation, whatever. Okay, so this looks more stable, although I do want to do this. I want to have it like that. Right there. And then take those off. Okay. That's pretty cool. I also want to get this. And again, that's a bit lower. Take that off. Move that one over one. That one over one. Okay. And now I'll get the struts on. Again, I apologize that I'm not talking, but I just don't want to not show you this. I feel like it's an important step that you need to know. Oftentimes I will connect between the top stage and the parachute or the nose cones here, just because you can make the connection. Although I don't think it's really necessary because this isn't high enough to wobble back and forth. So this seems about right. This should be enough to get us. It's definitely enough to get us into orbit. The question is it enough to get us to the moon? Now, I don't think so. So, I'm gonna add a whole nother stage. It's cool. I guess. So I'm gonna want to put all 4 here and get these, as well as put over here. Now, issue that I've had in the past is that sometimes these are so close together that it mistakes some of them to being connected to the other, like by a fuel line. It thinks that they're connected by a fuel line. So one of them will actually drain while the other doesn't. And if that happens, then you just have to separate your tanks farther apart. Now, I don't know if that will happen on this model exactly now, but it might. Then we get the big engines. Are those the same size as these? Because if so, then yeah, then I want to make these ones vectorable or gimbalable. I prefer to call them vectorable. It seems a bit easier to say. And then we'll do the same. Hold that option on this radial decoupler, and you have this whole stage with all the struts in the same orientation, etc. It's pretty nice. It's also really handy. See, now this isn't perfectly connected, so you just gotta sometimes redo that. But other times it's perfectly connected. I will redo this struts just to make sure that's good and doesn't look like it's connected. It's not. And then we'll add struts to the interior and I believe that should be good. So it's basically 2 of the same thing. Now I could have probably just taken from right here, but I actually want the lowered stage to have more fuel than the upper stage. And this is going to be all ascent right here. This is going to be the ladder of ascent, and this will be. Actually, no, I think I'll do. Okay, yeah. So let's go to our staging. So we want. Well, first we want to have a connection. Well, if we're going to the moon, living one Kerbin. So a couple things that we do need to have before we're done is we need to go under utility. This is the fun part I find in building rockets. You get some landing struts. So these ones are telescoping, meaning that after they point downwards, they'll extend. So it's basically going to be about this long, and we'll go that way. They become about 2 to 3 times their height. Although they don't really, it doesn't look like they connect very well. And in this case, if we want the engine to be right close to the ground, we'll probably need these to be up here. Like right around there. That's a little high up, I guess. Now we could try it, or we could use these landing struts. I found these ones to be somewhat better in some situations, although these telescoping ones are much more heavy duty, so they're a lot easier to land on. If you check these, you'll see that yeah, okay. So these telescoping ones, they have twice the mass of the non-telescoping ones, but everything else is really the same. They have the same impact tolerance, so I guess you could argue that they're different, or that they're the same. So I think, though, for this, since it's just a moon, we can try these landing struts. Although these ones we have to have lower down about there. They're not really seeming to, okay, there we go. They didn't really seem to want to go on. Hold on, I want to get this a bit lower. There we go. Oh, that looks a bit weird, huh? Okay. So now that will extend this distance. So it'll be like that. From there, which looks about right? Here, you can see it a bit easier. Right there. So if you look at it, it looks like it'll go down to about there. You want it to go down to about here. So I think we'll make these a tad bit lower. There. Okay. And one of them slightly bit higher so that they're only on the fuel tank. There we go. We have our RCS thrusters, landing gear. Okay, what else do we need? Well, firstly, we want to move these RCS thrusters to right here because we're going to put our ladder down here. Now, normally you can just add these ladder rungs. You want symmetry to be on one. You can normally just put your ladder rungs straight down, and at the very bottom, you can put either this, which is preferably for planes, or this. However, I do believe. Okay, so if I put that down to about there, you want it to go down to about where your engine ends. That's about there, and then you just want to connect it in between. So the sort of there we go. Because you can jump onto the ladder if you really have to, since you could jump 6 times higher than on Kerbin, and on Kerbin you can jump like maybe half a rung this way. But so or maybe 1 rung. So it's enough to get up there even on Kerbin usually. And then you might want a battery. You don't really need one because your rockets use it, or your engines. Almost all of the engines, or at least almost all of the liquid fuel engines, create electricity that you can use in your ship. Although the ion engines require electricity to run, as well as xenon, of course. However, you can use. So you could just get really heavy-duty batteries, I guess. What size are these? Oh, those are Pro batteries. And they hold 200. These ones hold 1,000. And they're just a normal cross-section, I guess. And then these ones are 4,000, and they're the cross-section Rockomax. So you can tell that this one is exactly twice as much as this one, because if by using the if this has a radius of 1 and it has an area, or let's say surface area, or an area of 1,000, let's say the electric charge, and this one has a radius of 2, let's say, or a surface area of 4,000, then if you use the formula, then you can figure out that this is 2, and that's 1. However, it's actually, this is, it's 1, it's your answer times 1,000 to get the area. So it's 1 and 2. So it's exactly twice as much. And then this one is the cross section. That's 200. Which is a bit of a different size. It's basically going 0.2 to 1, kind of. I don't know. It's I'm not sure the ratio of drone. No. What's it called? Probe. I'm not sure the ratio of probe to 1 meter, but I know the ratio of 1 meter to rocket max is 2 times. Here you have your clamping, or your docking ports, which we will do eventually. However, not now. So we don't need a battery because we have a 50 battery in our thing. However, what we can use is solar panels. Now you have these really huge solar panels which extend about, if you did it right there, extend about to about here, and it generates, let's see how much, 18 per second. Whereas these ones generate 2 per second. This one generates 45 per minute. Yeah, get the point. Your lights also use up electricity, and then you have your scientific equipment, which you do kind of want to put on there if you want to measure it out. I want to measure out the place, so I will put on my scientific equipment. But I'm actually going to lower my RCS thrusters to the RCS fuel tank itself. You don't have to do that because it's anywhere that the monopropellant fuel tank or RCS fuel tank, I'll say monopropellant, is connected. You can drain it from there, just as you can with anything, because the advanced SAS is fuel cross feed capable. And then I'll put my scientific equipment on the SAS. So this is our accelerometer. It measures acceleration not due to gravity. You have your, I don't know the correct name for it, but it just measures gravity. In here it's a gravity detector, but that's not what it is in real life. You got your thermometer and your barometer. And then, of course, when you're flying, you have your speedometer below and your odometer, vertical odometer at the top. You can have these communications. This one opens up to be like a circle kind of fan. It's like a dish. It kind of reminds me of the solar sail from the what's his name, Count Dooku's ship in Star Wars 2, like of the remake. So, I guess if you want to call it Star Wars 5, but it's not a. It's just a parabola kind of dish, and then you just have your antenna. Now, normally, if I'm gonna place that, I place it around here, and then I just make it point straight up. However, if you have a really, really tiny capsule, such as a probe, this mass, even though it's like, what is that, 5 kilograms? That doesn't look right. 5 kilograms? This is measured in metric tons, I think, for mass. So yeah, 5 kilograms. It seems a bit large. Although I guess it is the size of a Kerbin, and a Kerbin is probably like 100 pounds. So yeah, okay, I guess it makes sense. Or that's probably like, he's probably like 50 kilograms. So yeah, that makes sense. That just 5 kilograms can like offset your whole computer or rocket. That actually happened to me once. I made like the perfect rover, and it kind of used a bit of sky crane action. Although the sky crane, of course, you don't have extendable like string or cables or struts. You don't have the extendable ones. So in the I had to. It basically comes down, falls down, and does a power descent, and it also has drag chutes. And when it lands, then the rover drops down. I think I'm gonna copy that save into this world, just because I like to. Maybe we could start a new one, but I don't think so, because it's just a rover. It's not nothing. It's not anything else. So we have our equipment. Let's see. Let's zoom out a little. What else do we need? Oh yeah, I was gonna say we need our stability enhancers. Or I mean, launch stability enhancers, or I just call them launch towers. Let's get 4. Put them up there. Let's lower this also a bit. Okay. Holding it from there seems a bit unstable though. So I also want to hold it from, where do I want to hold it? Right here? Yeah, and right here. Although I'm gonna lower this a bit, get more down to the center of the thing, so it's more it's closer to the radial decoupler. Okay, this seems pretty good. It's a pretty cool rocket, I guess. Now we want to get our staging correct. So what are we gonna do first? We're gonna do these engines, right? These 4. So we have these 4 down here. Those are non-vectoring, okay. And then you want your deployment of these, of all of them, all 12, right? Yep. At the same time as these 4 solid rocket boosters, and then you want to disengage these bottom solid rocket boosters. These where are these? Oh, they're right there. Okay. Guess I didn't notice them being highlighted. Okay, so then these 4 down to right here means that these will eject off, and then we want these ones to go on, and then these 4 you want to fall off. And I'm not sure which one's going to drain first, these or those. Probably these. But we're going to do the solid rocket boosters just in case. So then these are going to fall off. And then these engines would go on. And then we'll release that, and that engine will go on, and that will be released, and the parachute will go on. Okay, so we have our staging correct. Now, under action groups, this is something I haven't shown you all, or I might have, actually. So you have, these are all your buttons. So custom 1 through 10 is your number pad 1 through 0, or, I don't know about number pad, but you know, the numbers above your keyboard. Your abort button is, if you hover right here when you're flying, abort will come out to the side a little, and you can press that. I believe it's, yeah, okay. So you press that. You have your brakes, which is B, which is also which I believe is a middle button. And here you have your SAS, which is T, or F for the press and hold. RCS is R, light is U, or the button up there, gear is G, or the button up there, and stage is spacebar. So I'm gonna make it so that when I press button number 1, so number 1, and then you want to choose what will happen, right? What items you want to target, what parts you want to target when you press 1. So when I press 1, let's make it so that the scientific equipment comes on. So you can press toggle the sensor. You can press toggle the sensor, and you gotta select each one. Toggle the sensor and toggle the sensor. Now I don't want my antenna to go out, because what if I just want to measure this as I'm flying, and then the antenna after I land. Okay, a couple things that I forgot though is I forgot to add one with some light. So we have round lights, which are which are twice as bright as these square ones, but the square ones twice the area as the round ones. So if we're landing on the moon at night, I think we're gonna want a mix of it. So, but we definitely want it to be balanced. We always want everything to be balanced. So if we're gonna be landing on the moon, then we should use these. I don't think we have enough room to do a mix of them. Two. There. They're already facing at a good enough angle. Although I will make it slightly less of an angle, because I want it to face almost straight down. So I'm just holding shift and then W. So let's make it face straight, or yeah, almost straight down. This is so that when I'm landing, I can actually see my landing gear. Yeah, it's just a bit better. If it turns out that it doesn't work very well, then I guess we can try out then with the correct size, correct orientation. And the last thing was solar panels. So I'm not okay. 2x3 photovoltaic panels and 1x6. So these 1x6, they remain this thick all the time, and then they just extend out about this far. Yeah, about this far, and they generate just as much as this one, which unfolds by 3, so it's 3 this way and 2 this way. These are the same ones, except they're covered. I don't know why you would prefer them to be covered. They're no different. Covered ones are more massive. I guess they just look a bit better. I know they look better on planes, because when I've made planes, I'm going to do that. They just have the one-piece solar panel. They're static, so you just place it on it and it will never move. All the other solar panels will face towards the sun. So I like using 1x6 usually when I do use them, and I usually place them right here on the SAS thing. We want it to be right centered on it, because the circle is where it's actually going to be connected, as you can see here. Let's go back to our action groups. And you got so number 2 will turn on your sensors. Number 3, number 1 will turn on our sensors. Number 2 will turn on our solar panels. If you do symmetry, it will select all of your symmetry. So you got toggle, extend, and then retract. So we want toggle, so that by pressing 2 you can extend them and retract them instead of just one or the other. Number 3, we're gonna do a lights, toggle. Although, actually no, we probably won't. Since we don't have different types of lights, there's no need in doing action group for it, because you can just press U and it will turn all your lights on. But I know that in my rover I had 2 different types. I had that type and the round types, and the rover that I was talking about in my other world, and so I had to use action groups for that, because you would turn them all on at once. And so we have 1 for that, 2 for the panels, 3 for the light. Okay, so 3 will make for the commutatron. Okay, and that should be good, I guess. We're probably gonna totally fail it, and then your crew, We got Jebediah flying it. Oh my gosh, that's kind of a bit, I don't know, uneasy. So let's save it. And let's go to the astronaut complex before we fly it. So you have your applicants, and then you can uh, allow them to go for it. So Kerbin, he's got quite a bit of courage, not so much stupidity. So let's check him off. He's available for a mission. Eventually, they'll add like training programs that you can probably actually do yourself and stuff like that. Courage and no stupidity. He has half courage, but he has no stupidity. So that's good enough for me. Definitely not that one. Definitely not that one. He still has some stupidity and just as much courage as that one. So this guy's a bit worse than Melbourne. Maybe we'll hire Ludorf if we really need him. And I think we're good for that. So I think we should probably have Gurk fly it instead of Jebediah. Although Jebediah, it's not really them flying it doesn't really change much. So I think we'll have Jebediah fly this one, and then if he lives, I don't know, but we'll have him fly this one since it's like the first one to the moon. Mission flag. I don't know why it won't keep staying on this. It's probably a different size. The only thing is though that when I look at it through this, if you look at the flag right there, I'm gonna change it. It will be just as high def, I think. There. I don't know. So this looks good enough for me, right? So, oh man, this is scary. We're totally gonna die. Let's go. Okay. So, to begin, before we start flying, and I want to press 1. So if I right click on these, it says null, which means it's not on, or it can't get a reading. If I press 1, it turns on. See, it's measured in G's, so it's 1G. When you're, I believe when you're in outer space, it won't measure the acceleration. I'm not entirely sure though. Or no, yeah, it measures acceleration in G's. It's kind of weird because then the gravity detector measures it in acceleration, which I find a bit weird. Like, why would the gravity detector measure it in acceleration and the acceleration detector measure in gravity, you know? I don't know. So, yeah, you see 9.81 meters per second. Maybe so that you can compare them. Your barometer is, we got a thermometer, a 19.32. I believe 20 is 72 Fahrenheit. And your barometer, which is 0.9816. That's probably in megapascals. Probably, unless it's in a different type of unit. But it can't be in kilopascals. Could it? Maybe it could. I don't know. It's probably in megapascals, which would make sense because it's not Earth's atmosphere, but this is pretty close. Earth's is 101 kilopascal, 101.3 kilopascals, so this would be 1.013, which is pretty close, because obviously this is a different size atmosphere, but it's also a different size planet, but it's a different density, so it's the same as Earth's. And if this is measured in kilopascals, then that's really crazy, because water boils, or water's triple point is like at 0.3 or so kilopascals, so gotta kind of watch out for that. Not in the game, of course. That's kind of cool. Are we ready, I guess? So, our throttle's at 100%. SAS on. Oh man, let's get our resources open. Before we fly, let's get an internal view. Oh man, you can't see anything. Now, eventually, probably in a month or two, when I build my computer, I might actually do a small series of episodes. If you guys will let me know before I actually start doing it, then I'll listen to you guys. Like, I know I only have like 5 viewers, 10 viewers probably, and like only 5 people who might actually comment. But it's still enough for me to make a decision, because I'm not sure whether I should videotape it or not. I don't think I should. But I might. I might just show you my parts, and then I'll show you the finished product or something. I might just do like kind of eBay style, where I just like show you a bunch of pictures, tell you about it. I might talk about it. I don't really know very much about like actual computer parts. I just kind of know about how they go together and what they do. But I don't really know about like the specifics of it. Okay, so are we ready? Jebediah, you look extremely happy. Oh man, I don't know. There's the sun. Where's our target again? Our target is the moon. Let's go check it out quick. So it's right there, and we just need to get in an orbit. So the K orbiter 1, I don't think that has much fuel left. I don't think it is. So we're basically gonna need to try and get our apoapsis to about probably here. That's a good spot to try and get out to. But let's zoom in a little. Let's get to about there. Yeah, okay. Oh man. We ready for this? Let's get a countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off. Or ignition. Oh man, that's pretty stable. Like, not in terms of just wobbliness, but like in terms of acceleration, that's pretty good. So if we check on our accelerometer, we're at about 1.2 Gs. We're slowing down a little bit because our acceleration is decreasing a little bit. I'm not sure why. You can see your G's right around here. It looks about 2, but then that says 1. No, that looks about 1. Never mind. Sorry, I thought that said 1, not 0. Okay. So we're just about there. To deployment. Oh, I forgot to put separatrons in these. I hope that's okay. If it blows up, then I guess we'll just add separatrons. Yeah, see, that's what I meant. That would blow up. Okay, release all the stages. Let's see if he will live. Oh yeah, he totally lived. Oh man, look at that! It's flying around. If we use the bracket keys, we can go around the debris. There we go. What's that one? Ah, this winglet. I love the winglet glitch. You just get a winglet moving at a certain angle, and it just goes so fast, and eventually it will like speed up. There's another one down there. There we go. So you just keep speeding up. It's a glitch. Because they don't have an aerodynamic model. That's a good way to see the Mach cone. This is the Mach cone around the thing. It'll just keep increasing. I believe it's because when you're don't look down at this island. There's a runway there, but I didn't want to really show you. And now it's getting fast enough for re-entry effects. Basically what happens, and I'm glad I'm recording this, so that eventually maybe Squad could see it, unless they already know about it, but they might not. I believe that what am I saying? Oh yeah, I believe that the winglet the SAS still controls the winglet as you continue flying. So let's restart that flight. Revert flight to vehicle assembly.